Laura, it's great to meet you. Thank you for coming into the clinic today and honestly being a great patient and a great student and being eager to learn. Sorry that your hip has been bothering you for so long, and honestly that hamstring since you were in college. Although the hamstring's not a huge complaint presently, it's the SIJ. I know that is still bothering you when you're running, and honestly it's the same mechanism from your hamstring injury that's causing this SIJ injury, just a new location, same impairments, new location. This is just a video for you to have some reference of everything that we covered. I have a feeling you remember a lot of it, but we did cover a bunch, so now you have some tangible things to go look back on. So let's get to it. Left hamstring strain, left and kind of right SIJ strain that's presenting more like a thoracolumbar fascia, erector spina, just like right over that, all that fascia over the sacrum is just irritated. So what causes that? Well, it's a rhetorical question. Let's get to it. Your right hip flexor doesn't work that well from a length and strength standpoint. Your right glute med doesn't work that well from a length and strength standpoint. Your left glute max doesn't work that well from a length and strength standpoint, as well as your left hamstring with an adductor bias or a groin bias from a length and strength standpoint. So you remember when we had you laying on your back with your knees in 90-degree hip flexion? So like this position, there it is. And I had you pull your hamstring under and that hurt. But then when you were laying prone and we had you bend, oh my wrist is not flexed, there it is. I had you prone and bend your single hamstring up. That's not working. It didn't hurt. So that says that the knee flexion bias of the hamstring is okay, but the hip extension bias of the hamstring needs some help. It hurts, which was evident in your running. When you are in stance phase of gait or running, your hamstrings and your glute max specifically need to work really hard to control the front and back plane. So that's the glute max and the hamstrings on the left and need some help in the front and back plane on the left side. So why the right side? Why does the right side also need some help? When your right hip goes into hip extension, so your heel goes behind you, that front anterior part of the hip is getting stretched, so your hip flexors. They don't have a lot of strength and or length, so that preloads the other side of your hamstring. So when this pulls back, it pulls you in an anterior tilt and thereby also pulls that other hip pelvis in an anterior tilt, which preloads that hamstring underneath. I'll show you the anatomy again, but I think you grasp that. So things that are weak also are tight. So that right, I said it backwards. Things that are tight are also weak. So that right hip flexor needs some help, which that one exercise, tabletop resisted marches, is what we gave you. Sets and reps on that go to fatigue, but like 2 to 3 sets of 15 endurance-based reps. I think I said 3 sets of 10, 2 times 15 or 3 times 10, whatever works best for you. So that's why we're looking at the right hip flexor, because that affects your pelvic stability. Where your pelvis goes dictates what muscles are going to be working. So if you don't have pelvic control, that means the muscles controlling your pelvis are going to be working harder, which was evidenced in your running, which we saw how short your stride was, especially on that left side. Right glute med, why is that important? In the running that we look at, you can see that based on quick assessment, hopefully I saw it quickly. When I look at it, slow motion, we'll see if I was correct. When you land on your right foot, what I believe I saw is a little bit of Trendelenburg. Your jacket kind of covered a little bit, but your hips moved too much, specifically on right. I think you had maybe a little bit of right crossover sign. Like I said, I haven't looked at it yet, which indicates that that right glute med isn't working as hard. So there's something going on with your lateral pelvic stability on the right side, which you've said that right hip is the one that the right hip flexor is the one that pops. You do have some right SIJ pain. So it's building this story that the left hip is not very good at this plane and the right hip is not very good at this plane. So that's where you get centrally where that SIJ, that sacrum is like, what do I do? Do I go here? Do I go here? Do I go here? Where do you want me to go? It's a big conversation, isn't it? So those are the 4 things we need to work on. We gave you 3 exercises. Hip flexor on the right, so tabletop marches, resisted tabletop marches. On the left hamstring, we have a very, very mini deadlift. So your right foot is kickstand, majority of your weight is in your left side. Let's just show it to you. Can you see me? Kind of, I'm not tall enough. One foot's behind you. A kickstand, other foot's in front of you. You're doing a little bit of Mini deadlifts. Notice how my back isn't rounding, my butt is not a sad puppy dog. My butt is really high, happy puppy dog. We come up and down, keeping that pelvis really high, keeping the core engaged as we do mini deadlifts, mini single leg deadlifts with a little bit of balance assist by our back leg. You should feel that kick in the hamstring and butt. You'll probably cheat, you probably won't feel it all in your hamstring because we'll have to work on lateral pelvic stability, but if it hurts in your back like it did when we were together, really try and keep that back, your butt high. It's not really about arching the back, it's just about maintaining that pelvic stability into an anterior pelvic tilt. We'll cover this more when we talk together, but it's confusing where you don't want an anterior pelvic tilt when you're standing, but you want an anterior pelvic tilt when you're flexing. It gets confusing, we'll talk about that, but I want that pelvis to roll forward and that butt to stay high when you do a mini deadlift, which loads that hamstring at a very, very low load, not a lot of weight, do body weight, then progress to 5, 10, 15 pounds. This is strength-based reps, so just do like 8 reps, 2 to 3 sets of 8 reps. Once a day is plenty. And then the third thing, a variation of side-to-side walks, straight knee side-to-side walks, band around your arch, so around your feet. This is more about the trailing leg pushing away from you rather than the leading leg pulling you or pushing you forward? Pulling you forward? No idea. Let's show you. So you're standing. You can't see me. Our hips are here. Bands are on my feet. When you walk, you're really trying to push that back leg and you push that ground away from you. It's not about leading in with that front foot. It's more about pushing the back leg backwards. This is endurance reps, so like wherever you can in your house, step side to side. Try and get like 50 steps in, back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 5, not 10. So you can do that 10 times. That's the basics for you. There's a lot more that we'll cover. Like I said, you're at leg visit 4 or 5 because you did really good rehab on yourself at home. But you can keep stretching those hip flexors and those hamstrings and rolling out the pelvis and the fascia and all that stuff in your back. That is totally great. Now we need to get the right muscles working at the right times. If you have any questions, please do let me know. But let's go look at your running so it all makes sense. You're great.